And welcome back to game number 2 in the UGC Dota 2 League between Team Rhythm and Team Regicide. Game number 1, we saw Regicide take a pretty convincing victory as, they just had a lot of really hard stuns, executed their team fights fantastically, and their Sand King play, oh my god. I did not give that guy enough credit during the game because every time he pulled off an amazing play, it was amidst a billion other things that were going on. But holy balls! I gotta check the replay to see who was actually their Sand King player. I cannot remember right now. I believe it was Shenanigans that was playing the Sand King. I might be wrong, but oh my god, the Burrow Strikes, man! The Burrow Strikes were basically ravages. He caught every single person. There was a team fight where he actually got a 5-man Burrow Strike. Do you know how difficult that is? That's just insane. So absolutely fantastic play from Regicide. They executed their team fights really well. They got all the pickoffs they needed off and just caused a lot of havoc around the map. It was just absolutely beautiful. So getting into this game right here, the what was it? Okay, yeah, so like I said, this is a best of 2. So the teams play 2 games right now. So Team Regicide has the opportunity to grab themselves a 2-0 victory, and if not, then Rhythm will be pulling it back for a 1-1 tie, and we will head on towards the rest of the league at even points. Now, that said, So how this game was set up. So in game number 1, Team Rhythm, being the home team, got to choose whether they wanted to take first pick or select their side, and so Team Rhythm grabbed. Team Rhythm opted to take the Radiant side, and Team Regicide opted to give them first pick because they wanted second pick. A lot of teams prefer to have second pick because when you do, you have the only 2 consecutive picks in the entire draft. The rest are either interrupted by a ban or a pick or something like that. So they opted to have the second pick, and so Rhythm did get their side selection, and they got first pick, and they still came out, and so they did not get exactly what they wanted out of that game. Regicide, this game, got to select side or first pick, and they chose to get first pick, and Rhythm selected Radiant because they were a little bit more comfortable on that side. So Regicide has the first pick in this game, and we'll see how that plays out for him. Now, the same 2 bans as the last game coming out right off the bat here. We got the Bat Rider and the Lycanthrope taken out, and we'll see what the other 2 are. I believe last game it was Invoker and Weaver that were banned out. But the Treant is going to be taken out by Regicide because despite beating it last game, they don't want to have to deal with the tree. It is a very obnoxious hero, and if a team's willing to pick it, if they have somebody who's comfortable playing it, then why the hell not, right? So, into this game, I wonder what we're going to see here. The Invoker is taken out from Team Rhythm as well, so not wanting to have to deal with the Grand Magus, the Arsenal Magus. The Grand Magus is that other guy. Is the Rubik man. Burp.
Radiant team.
Burp. Alright, so Marana snatched up by Regicide. First, they put that to great use last game, and it was actually, I gotta say, it was pretty sloppy play on the side of Rhythm. The fact that the Marana got off to the start she did, because the Slark, who was I can't remember. Oh, it was All Manwich, I believe, who was playing the Slark, and man, he made a couple questionable plays there. Right before he was 6, he was halfway into level 5, and he saw Marana and he just pounced and he just went on her. And he didn't have his ultimate, and so she just starfalled, and he got hit by the double hit, and 2 hits of starfall when it's maxed is 600 damage. Of course, that's before magic damage mitigation, which reduces it a bit, but that's a hell of a lot of damage. And he just kind of jumped right into it and died, and I was like, what? I wasn't even looking at the lane because he wasn't 6. There wasn't going to be anything interesting going on. But then he followed it up by jumping on her right as he was level 6. And when he jumped on her, he didn't pop his ultimate and ate a double Starstorm again and just died before he even popped his ultimate. And so Marana, who should have been at a disadvantage in that lane, ended up just, on a roll to begin with and played it out really well. Now, this is a pretty interesting set of first picks. Rhythm has snatched themselves up the Ancient Apparition and the Tidehunter. So looking for a lot of teamfight potential here. The Tidehunter, a fantastic hero because of that Ravage, and of course with his newfound ability to really be able to farm the Ancients and function in the offlane a little bit better. He's made his way back into the meta, and of course the Ancient Apparition always very strong with that Ice Blast. It'll be keeping people low on health, won't let them run away, take out that damage. Rhythm's going to have a very nasty team fight. However, Regicide has tried to negate that by snatching themselves up a Rubik right off the bat, and Ravage is it's a relatively easy spell to steal, especially when you get later on in the game and the Tidehunter is focused more on getting that Ravage off. If a smart Rubik will just stay back, and the second that Ravage goes off, you steal, you Ravage yourself, and that team fight is completely turned around. So, fantastic hero to have on the board. We'll have to see. He also functions really well with the Marana too, because you can throw people into the arrow and keep them levitated for quite a bit. So I think we're going to be looking towards seeing another very reliable stun coming out from Regicide to be able to combo with that Rubik Marana, perhaps even a Wraith King again. Wraith King was played as a one position last game, and the Marana was played on a solo safe, but I believe that if you wanted to run him as a support, he would work out very, very well right now. The Disruptor was picked up by Rhythm as well, because he's also a hero that messes with Tidehunter quite a bit, in the fact that if he's looking for a blink, you can generally get the glimpse back on him, or just drop your ultimate in anticipation of his blink. And the second he blinks, if you're right on the dot with dropping your ultimate, you can just silence him out of it and just destroy him. I mean, he has nothing if he's silenced, right? So just shut him down. Puck was also banned out by Rhythm, as trying to avoid those silences and that little bit of team fight control that the Puck offers. So that said, I think what I would be more worried about right now is the support that's going to combo up with these two, because right now Rhythm is focusing on making sure that their team fight doesn't get shut down, but at the same time, if they focus too heavily on team fight and don't make strong lanes, Regicide's just going to roll right over them. The team fight's not going to matter. You can get a Ravage, you can get a Frost Blast, you can get whatever you want. If it's good for Regicide in the early game, they could just walk away with it. Now, the Wraith King is picked up by Rhythm themselves, so instead of banning it, they snatch it, and it combos really well with the Ancient Apparition as well. We'll have to see if that's going to be their carry, if they're going to combo it up with something else, but I think as it stands, they've got a really, really nasty duo. The Wraith Fire Blast into Cold Feet is a guaranteed Cold Feet, and then you throw the Chilling Touch on top of it with some with potential crits if he does level Mortal Strike first. Generally, support Wraith Kings will go for the Vampiric Aura, but we'll have to see. It's a lot of damage on the field and can be very, very nasty. Regicide now spending a little bit of time trying to decide on what they want to go with for their for the rest of their roster. Their board is pretty open for them. They have two very flexible heroes that offer a lot in terms of everything. The Marana, of course, offers team fight and the fact that she has her ultimate, and the Leap, which gives everybody a speed bonus. She's got the Arrow for great pickoffs, and the Starstorm is just a fantastic ability all around. Lots of nuke damage. Of course, the Rubik, he's all his ultimate, and his ultimate is it's geared around making sure that he's on even footing with the enemy team. That's his thing. So. Alright, so it's going to be the Yakuro, and I don't hate this at all. Jakiro's a very strong... Whoa, where's my mouse going? Jakiro's a very strong hero that really just... okay, I'm trying to put this into words here, but, he's kind of got a weak laning presence because of the fact that, it takes so long to wind up his skills. But with the Rubik there... you can set up right into an ice path and follow it up with everything else, and he suddenly becomes very, very strong in that regard. So these are pretty defensive heroes, but they can be played aggressive when put in a lane together. Now this Shadow Shaman is telling me that the Wraith King is going to be a core, so I would not be surprised at all to see Rhythm playing a very aggressive tri-lane with the Tidehunter on solo safe or even the mid lane. Tidehunter does play mid very well, especially on the Radiant side, because you have the Ancients right there that you can run over to and do any time that you want. The Shadow Fiend is going to be picked up by Regicide, and I'm not... okay. Not 100% sure on this one, because Shadow Friend, well, he does a ton of damage. His biggest weakness is, early crowd control and ganks. And Rhythm's got that in droves. They have an incredible lineup for roaming, for ganking, and for causing early fights. So the Shadow Friend is really going to be on him to, make sure that he farms up really, really well to begin the game. Gets a lot of souls under his belt, and then gets to a point where he can start right-clicking down the Shadow Shaman and the Ancient Apparition in 3 or 4 hits, and at that point, then he becomes scary. But I think with the potential for the combos that these guys have, with the Shackles into Cold Feet, into Chicken, into Wraith Fire Blast, into damage, into damage, into damage, into damage, Shadow Fiend could have a very, very rough early game, so it's a very risky pick. Very risky pick. We are banned out by Rhythm here as they look towards getting rid of Regicide's off lane, and the Bristleback eliminated by Regicide and fearing the exact same thing. I think they are thinking along the same lines I am, that the Tidehunter may be sent towards the mid, and like rightfully so. Tide mid is very, very strong. Not highly regarded as strong, but well, no. I think nobody's just tried it yet. A lot of people focus on his off lane because he's very survivable, but he does have an amazing mid lane presence as well.
Remaining.
So what do they pick here? I think Rhythm. They're looking for either a mid or a solo safe lane, and Beastmaster. I like that. I like that. You now have a huge, amazing stun in the form of his ultimate, which is going to help lock down that Shadow Fiend when he picks up a Black King bar. And as well, I mean, you've got constant scouting around the map, you've got auras to keep your team alive, and he's going to do a lot of work. I really like the Beastmaster. He's a fantastic hero when played right, and has kind of dropped off the face of the meta, but he is fantastic in his own regard. So it'll be up to Rhythm to do with him as they please, but I think if they play him just right, they'll be in a awesome position here. Regicide looking towards picking up, I think, an offlaner. They could still pick up a regular carry. Excuse me. You know, they'll be. I think they could look towards picking up a generic carry and put the Mirana on the offlane. But I think Mirana has such a great lane right now with these two supports that they'll be looking towards that offlane. What it's gonna be, I don't know though. Doombringer banned out. Kunkka. Okay. Huh. So this might be a safe lane Kunkka. This might be a safe lane Kunkka with an offlane Mirana. It's possible. I'm curious. We'll have to see with their item pickups and try to determine from there. But yeah, the safe lane Kunkka would work out really well with these two because, I mean, you can levitate straight into Torrent and just cause a lot of havoc that way. I think the Mirana's been given a word, so she'll be heading down towards the off lane. Kunkka will be safe lane with the Jakiro and the Rubik, and then on the mid lane we'll have the Shadow Fiend as per usual. We'll get on to introducing the players here. We've got Lieutenant Howie, or LL Howie, I'm not sure how he wants it. Wait, he's going to be playing the Shadow Fiend, and okay, their lanes are throwing me for a spin. We'll see how it goes in a second. Vinci going to be playing up that Jakiro. Veggie's going to be taking the Rubik towards mid. We've got G going to be playing the Kunkka on mid. Sorry, yeah. Shenanigans going to be playing the Mirana on bottom. Smoker going to be taking the Wraith King on the side of Team Rhythm. One Asian going to be playing the Ancient Apparition. Tidehunter going to be played up by Manwich. We've got the Lakai going to be taking the Beastmaster towards the mid lane. And where's that other guy that I missed? Yeah, there's the Shadow Fiend going to be played, or Shadow Shaman going to be played by Gaddy Ice. Alrighty, so these lanes are looking a little weird. I think Tide is going to be the offlaner here, so he's going to head off towards the off in just a moment here. We're going to have a safe lane combo of the Wraith King, the Ancient Apparition, and the Shadow Fiend, Shadow Shaman. Oh god, this is going to drive me insane. But yeah, so Shenanigans offlane Mirana, and we're going to have a safe lane Shadow Fiend, which is a little bit awkward. I think the safe lane Kunkka would have worked out really well, especially considering the two supports that they had. But you know, it's all right. It's up to them, man. I think this might be a wrong decision, but you know, they might know better than I. So see how it goes. Double damage rune on bottom. Both teams would love to get that, but I think they're going to leave it for just a couple moments and try to pick it up before their 2-minute spawn so that they can hopefully get a double rune spawn. Tidehunter dropping off a ward in the trees here, so he's going to be able to spot out any action coming his way. And yeah, Mirana going to pick herself up that double damage rune, so see if she makes some of this. She hasn't put a point into any of her abilities yet, so if she throws it into arrow, she could maybe even progress mid and try to make a fight out of it, but not going to be the case. Instead, she heads back down towards her own lane. Both teams going to be playing pretty passively in the laning phase right now. No aggro tri-lanes as we saw in the last game, so yeah, we'll see. Over here we got the Rubik just stacking and pulling. He's going to be getting himself a little bit of extra cash here, as well as the AA, who is doing much the same. Alright, so Shadow Fiend on the safe lane. Let's talk about this. Let's rap for a second, because, you know, I don't hate it, but I also don't really adore it, because, I mean, Shadow Fiend is a good hero, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, especially against the melee mid that is the Beastmaster, he would have had a field day here. And the Kunkka, like I said, you have an opportunity to get some amazing kills with the Kunkka set up by the Rubik, and just feels like they're missing out on an opportunity. I think you almost could have taken the Kunkka towards an aggro tri-lane with the Rubik Jakiro, and it would have worked out just fine for you. But, you know, it's... I guess that's how they're choosing to do it, and I mean, right now it is going to work out well for him right now because the Shadow Fiend is actually, I mean, he's just getting the farm he needs, and like I said earlier, it's going to have to get to a point for him where he can just like 2 or 3 shot the enemy supports, and you know, when he starts doing that, then that's when the game's really going to turn in their favor. So I think they'll be fine just doing that for now. And how did that Tidebringer not hit? It should have, but whatever. Beastmaster going to pop off that cell. Has that illusion rune up, so he's going to be able to control his mid lane for just a second, but actually still misses a deny. So Wraith King is doing his thing down at bottom. Yeah. Anyways, in terms of last hits, we got the Shadow Fiend actually sitting on top of that chart. 15 and 8 right off the bat. We've got 11 and 6 on the Kunkka and 11 and 3 on the Beastmaster. 10 and 0 on the Wraith King, and nobody else in this board matters. So the stack and pulls have been really, really good by this Rubik. I think it might... Actually, no. Tidehunter has not put any points into Kraken Shell, and I think this is a bit of a mistake on his part. Is that, you know, he got no points in Kraken Shell, and he maxed Gush. Now, especially when you're in this off lane with no mana regen items whatsoever, Gush is pretty useless. If he gushes once more, he's out of mana completely. Like, there is no point for him to even have that ability. As well, I mean, if a fight breaks out and he gets caught by an ice path or something, he's not going to be negating damage like he would otherwise, and you know, it also means that his potential to do the early game Ancients is severely diminished, because when you get, I think it's 3 points in Kraken Shell before you can really do Ancients, and if you get 3 points in Kraken Shell, 2 points in Anchor Smash at level 5, and you walk over here, I mean, you can just straight up farm Ancients. I think they do like 10 damage to you per hit, so it hurts a little bit, but I mean, it's still better than sitting in lane getting no XP and doing nothing. And he is getting experience right now, but I mean, like I said, the stack and pulls from the Rubik have been really good, and here goes another one. Another full wave going to be denied from this Tidehunter, so he's not going to have a great time in a few moments here. And I think, like I said, if he had just gone for those Ancients, he'd be able to get a little bit of extra gold in his pockets right off the bat. Maybe get those Arcane Boots up quickly, and who knows, even a Blink Dagger. Bottom, Wraith King is on for that Soul Ring, so he's got the quick and easy stun mana whenever he needs it. I really like the Soul Ring on him because, especially like right if you're about to die and you don't have the mana for Reincarnate, you can just pop it off and you die instantly, so you can get that death whenever you need it. Plus, I mean, you have the mana. You like when you own a Soul Ring on Wraith King, you should never ever die because of not having enough mana for Reincarnate. Like that should just not happen. It eliminates that factor completely. Alright, so, how we doing? What is there to talk about? There's this Ancient Apparition heading mid, but I don't think he's going to be able to make anything happen here. Beastmaster, actually, he's almost 6. So if he gets the Primal Shout, the Primal Roar out onto the Kunkka, it's followed up by a Cold Feet. It could be trouble, but no, he doesn't even have the mana. The bottle is flying back to base on the courier, so that's not going to happen for a while. A is kind of just wasting his time here. I mean, at least he could do is walk down here and stack this camp so that Beastmaster can farm it up with his axes a little bit later, but no such thing. Kunkka flying in with a boat, and this is going to catch. There it goes. And what? Cold Feet on a creep. Man, they turn it back around. They're dishing out damage, but wow, really, really sloppy there by the side of Team Rhythm. And oh, is this Torn going to hit? No, it's not. That could have been first blood, but not the case. But yeah, Kunkka initiated in on a very sloppy thing, and I mean, Beastmaster knew that it was coming. He could have walked out of that, but didn't. And then the Ancient Apparition walks in. Cold Feet's a creep, and they just don't manage to turn around. Kunkka walks away. I think if he had gotten that Cold Feet off on the Kunkka when the Primal Shout went out, that would have been first blood. in your favor. I mean, but it's not it. Anyways, yeah. Tidehunter's still getting pushed out of this lane. Like, he's trying to come forward and get some creeps out here, but like I said, I mean, he can't really contest it. He can't move up, and I mean, of course, the Rubik will probably be stacking and pulling just again in a second. Yeah, he has a stack up, but he's not going to pull quite yet. Gonna wait for another 10 seconds or so, and then he'll pull it. But yeah, I think Tidehunter, man, need to go. Oh, we got another disconnect. Cool. So the Beastmaster, 20 seconds off of Primal Shout, and he is going to find himself a haste rune. This could mean a lot for this trial lane, because if he picks up that haste rune, heads back to mid, throws a set of axes to keep the lane pushed, and then runs off, he could find kills all the way across this map. And I think with Tidehunter getting pretty close to 6, actually he's not quite there yet. I don't know if he'll have it by the time this Beastmaster turned around to gank, but if this wave gets cleared out, maybe, he might be able to get that Ravage off. And Ravage with the Primal Shout, I think that's kill central, especially on the squishy supports like this. You might even get the Shadow Fiend as well. I mean, he's not very tanky. Alright, haste rune picked up by the Beastmaster. Not going to pop it yet. Not going to look for the ganks, but we'll have to keep an eye on him, as he's going to want to find a kill with that for sure. There he goes, throwing some axes, clearing out this lane, and yeah, I think this is going to be kind of what I just said right there. Like, he's going to push this lane up, get the creeps up on the high ground, and then when he backs up, it's not going to look too conspicuous. I mean, of course, Regicide is going to be careful about it, but at the same time, he kind of has the possibility. Now, Ancient Apparition is here and is going to get spotted up by the siege creep, so they're really, yeah, they're not going to kill this Kunkka for sure. Now, I think Beastmaster actually TPs right now, like just backs up into the trees and TPs out. He'll be fine. Now, Kunkka's going to throw a boat, definitely not going to land there, and actually almost did. They almost walked back into it, and now they're looking for the Kunkka. They do catch him with the Primal Shout into the Cold Feet, and now the Moonlight Shadow is going to go out to try to keep him away from this, and he's just going to turn it right back around, drops a torrent, and will get the kill on Jakiro. First blood goes the way of the Kunkka, and the Jakiro has TP'd in to try to cause some trouble, and now there goes the X marks, but it's not going to be enough, as that haste rune will keep the Beastmaster out of trouble for now. Yeah, he's going to be fine. So, first blood goes the way of Regicide. Good. Wait, where's Tide's money? He didn't die. He had like 900 gold when I checked in on him last time. Oh, he got the magic one. I see. He had the magic stick before. Now he's got the wand. Level 6 now up on the Tide, so they can make something happen on the top lane if somebody wants to rotate up that way. But it seems like they're focusing on mid for now. Beastmaster's just trying to keep a foothold up here, and getting first blooded is not the way to do that. Oh, actually, there's the AA that dropped, rather. But Invis Rune spotted out here, and Shenanigans is going to make his way down and take that out. Ice Path going to fly, not going to catch anything. But just kind of creating room, and now Mirana, she's going to be looking for kills, and she'll probably find him down to this bottom lane, to be honest. I mean, that invisible is, or that invis is going to cause her a lot of trouble. But now, Kunkka getting jumped on by the Wraith King. Torrent going to miss. Arrow flies, catches on the Shadow Shaman, and now Boat coming in with the Ice Path to follow. There it goes. Boat pops off the Shadow Shaman, and the second kill of the game goes to Regicide. And well played, well executed. They knew what they were going for. Kunkka kind of played a little bit forward and baited out the jump in on the Wraith King. And by the time that all went off, he was too far forward, and his support ended up dying for it instead of him. But you can guarantee if Shadow Shaman wasn't there, that the Wraith King would have been the death instead. Ice Path going to fly in, not going to catch. The Tidehunter is there, though, and they know he's there. He's looking for that Ravage, but I don't think he's going to find it. They're in full retreat, and they might find it out. No, Slow goes out on the Jakiro. Wraithfire Blast, not going to hit. Arrow flies, going to miss. And now Torrent actually catches out the Tidehunter, and Ice Path going to miss on everybody. And I think Jakiro is toast. He's trying to run himself away, but definitely not going to be the case. Wow, they actually spend the Primal Shout after the shackles have gone out, so a little bit of miscoordination, or a little bit of miscommunication there, as that Primal Shout did not need to be spent. Beastmaster going to make his way back into the mid lane, and will find himself a haste rune, so he'll probably be able to make something a little bit better out of this than he wants. Up on top lane, Shadow Fiend grabs himself a tower, and he's sitting there. He's sitting pretty with a lot of gold in his pockets. I mean, he's got a full Yasha up already, and I think we'll see him go towards a Black King Bar shortly after that. There's a lot of stuns that need to be negated on the side of Team Rhythm, and of course the one that matters, the Primal Shout, goes through Black King Bar, but there is so much else on the board that you really, really needed this game. Looks like Team Rhythm wants to make a fight happen, and on bottom they got 4 heroes pushing in here with ultimates available on 3 of them. They got the Snakes to drop, they got the Ravage and the Reincarnate, so they're definitely going to want to take this tower, but how's this going to play out for Regicide? I mean, are they just going to pressure mid? Are they going to TP back and try to fight it? What are they going to do here? Looks like they're in mid for now. Arrow going to fly, not going to catch anything. Looking for the Beastmaster, no X or any fun like that. Serpent Wards are going to help get rid of the tier 1 tower there, and Rhythm has moved back towards mid. Boat going to fly in, Torrent catches on 2, and there it goes. The stun is going to land on both, and these guys are both going to fall. The Reincarnate is going to bring the Wraith King back up, and I think he might fall there, as no Ice Path quite yet. It was on cooldown, the Dual Breath instead, and doesn't look like we're going to have any more casualties, but the Ice Path does hit on the Tidehunter. That might be it. He pops off the Ravage, and he does fall in the backline, but they are going to get the Jakiro for it. Now, the Moonlight Shadow does go out, but there is a Sentry Ward dropped on the Radiant side, so they know what's going on. The Wraith King dropping dangerously low. Is he going to fall? I don't know. Getting blocked up by a Shadow Shaman, actually, but is it going to be enough? There they go. A couple more auto attacks, and the Wraith King will fall. Are they going to continue on? Yeah, one more auto attack, and the Shadow Shaman is going to die as well. Looking for the raises, but not going to find it. Anyways, Torrent catches on the Beastmaster, and these Torrents have been right on the spot, man. The G is actually just playing out of his mind with these. Doing really, really well. I mean, that TP, he just put it like a little bit forward to scare them off, and oh, geez, okay. This is a boar. I thought that was a courier for a second. That was looking really scary, but yeah, I hate... There are some cosmetics that I really don't like, and although this looks good, put it in a 3D model viewer, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty fancy. It still looks like a courier, man. Like, if I saw that, I'd be like, fucking smite it, courier. And then it would poison me, and I'd be like, what? Oh, yeah, it's a boar. When cosmetics start messing with the gameplay like that, I think is when they cross the line a bit. But anyways, jumping in is where the Beastmaster gets himself caught in trouble. X-Marks catches him out, and I think he's going to fall. But yeah, Coco charging forward. Is anybody going to drop on the backline? No, there were a lot of people that were pretty low. Anchor Smash stolen by the Rubik. So he's got that in his inventory, or in his arsenal right now. Of course, he's not the Arsenal Magus, he's the Grand Magus. I already screwed that one up once tonight. Kunkka just going to come up top and clear out this wave. Chosen to go for that Drums Phase Boots build, so he's going to be able to catch up with people, get those X marks off, and cause some trouble. Cause some trouble indeed. 85 last hits up on that Shadow Fiend. He's sitting at the top of that chart doing really, really well. 85 in 13 minutes is definitely not bad, especially considering I think he has 3 kills under his belt right now. What's he at? It's 201. Okay, so 1 assist and 2 kills. And yeah, definitely going right into that Black King bar from the Yasha. So he'll have that up. And I think at his current GPM, we're looking at probably a 17, 18 minute, actually not even, no. Probably looking at a 16-minute BKB, which is going to be really, really ugly for Team Rhythm to try to deal with. Let's swap over to the net worth graph and see what it's looking like. Pretty similar to the last hits graph at this point, actually. We're only about 10 kills in, so kills aren't going to determine too much. But with these towers starting to drop and these fights starting to go down, I think it's going to change up a little bit. Serpent Wards have been dropped on the Tier 1 tower, and I'm not sure if Regicide can fight into this. They have popped off the Moonlight Shadow, though, and the boat is going to fly. Radiant Structure's fortified, and there goes the Beastmaster. He gets dropped almost instantly, and I think they're going to have to deny this tower, but there goes the Ravage. Going to catch everybody out. Shackle's out on the Jakiro right now. The Shadow Fiend on the backline trying to do work, but oh my gosh, the Ravage stolen by the Rubik, and they turn this right back around. 4 heroes down on the side of Team Rhythm, and the middle tower has been denied. Kunkka chasing this up. Is he going to find the Ancient Apparition? I don't think so. He's walking straight up lane. What? Are they actually going to call it?
Radiant's bottom tower.
No way. No way. They call it. 14 minutes, 56 seconds, 10 kills up, and Team Rhythm forfeited. Wow. Okay. Alright. I guess feeling a little demoralized after game number 1. They weren't happy with the start that they had in this game, and you know, they just let it go. That's wow. Yeah, I mean, they definitely had the potential to take this game. They definitely did. But I think just a few small key things really set them off, and number 1 being just, you know, that free farming Shadow Fiend. I mean, you got to create pressure on a Shadow Fiend in any game, which is generally why he's seen as a very risky mid, because he's easy to gank. But in that safe lane, with the Jagero and the Rubik protecting him, there wasn't much. And, Ty didn't get off to a great start. Like I said, he didn't really go farm those Ancients. He just kind of sat in lane and got denied XP the whole time. Didn't go off, make any, he didn't make himself useful. And down on the bottom lane, the Ancient Apparition was the only one to rotate. Shadow Shaman always stayed bottom with the Wraith King, which didn't really work out for him. I mean, if the Shadow Shaman and the AA went together, I guarantee you they would have gotten that kill on Kunkka, but, just not the case. Kunkka got off to a great start, landed some fantastic boats. The Torrents were off the chart. G played really, really well, but, yeah, that'll be it. Wow. 14 minutes, 56 seconds. I'm sorry I spent so much time talking after this, but really didn't get a chance to analyze much of this game just because of how quick it was. That's insane. So, anyways, Rhythm drops 2-0 victory, goes the way of Regicide, and they will be advancing with smiles on their faces as they head towards Week 3 of the UGC League, of the UGC Dota 2 League. I have been Cptn.Canuck. It has been a pleasure casting for you guys. Please make sure to check out UGCLeague.com. That's where all the action's happening. You can see schedules, you can see streams, you can check out all that good stuff from there. Sign up for. I think eventually you'll be able to sign up for future seasons, but I'm not entirely sure. You'll have to just keep checking back, see the news on that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I have been Cptn.Canuck. You can keep up with me at my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/CptnCanuckDota, my YouTube at the exact same address, well, youtube.com/CptnCanuckDota, and Twitter at CptnCanuckDota. Thank you guys so much for watching. It has been a pleasure, and I will see you again next time. Cheers.